Okay, hello everybody. Hopefully I'm live. Everybody can hear me. Uh, Ira, if you're out there, can you hear me? Hong Kong Explorer, thank you for coming in. Ira Jacob, thank you for everything. Appreciate it. God bless you. If you guys can hear me, wave at me, do something, dance, do something. Anyway, thank you for coming to the Scotty B Show. I got three big wiggers with me right now. They'll be coming up here in a second. And okay, thank you, Robert. Sounds good. All right. Thank you, sir. Uh, Ace Fla, thank you for coming in. Thank you, Faye, for coming. So anyway, let me bring these guys up. We'll be here maybe between an hour and a half. And I already got some questions for these guys. And let me bring up first man in the chat here. Let me add him to the chat here, Mr. Zeekman. Zeekman, how are you, sir?
What's going on, Scotty? Thanks for having me.
Hey, great to have you, brother. I know. Before I bring up the other guys, where have you been so far, as far as flying wise?
Let's see.
I know you've been to Mexico, right?
Internationally, I've been to Mexico. I've been to, I don't know, 6 or 7 islands in the Caribbean, and I've been to 10 different countries in Europe. And
Wow.
yeah, in a few weeks, I will be finally getting to Asia. So
Great. Okay. All right. Hang on. Let's bring up Mr. Darren Dobson from the Canadian side of the family. Darren Dobson, how are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. How are you guys?
We're doing great. So I asked Zeekman where he's been. Where have you been? You've been to quite a few places internationally.
Well, yeah, before just the last year before the pandemic hit, I was actually going to go to the Philippines, but before that, I was in Bali, Indonesia. Before that, and then Australia, and before that, Oman. And so those were the three. And now I go to the U.S. all the time, but that stopped during the pandemic. And then I'm going to, of course, the United Arab Emirates and Qatar next month, and then December, hopefully Las Vegas. So I'll be traveling again.
All right, so let's bring up our big and one and only, the man from South Korea, Mr. Thekingleeway. How are you, sir?
Oh,
Mr.
good.
King.
Nice to see all of you.
Now everybody knows King is in Korea. He's from the United States. You've been to the Philippines. What other countries have you been to, King?
Been to, let's see. Yep, of course, the Philippines, Thailand, China, and Japan.
Awesome.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So these other guys here are getting ready. I know Zeekman's getting ready to go to Thailand December. Darren Dobson, when are you going to hit Southeast Asia?
Asia, I'll go next year. It looks like maybe, I don't want to tell anybody because you don't know with the Philippines. So I'm going to the Philippines. So,
Right.
but it looks like next year, December, I go to the States. So we don't know.
Okay. Okay, great. And I don't know if you guys can see the chat. A lot of people in the house tonight. For me, anyway, I don't get a whole lot of visitors, but looks like everybody's coming to see the big wiggers tonight. So anyway, I absolutely appreciate you guys coming over and talking about this, because I have not flown internationally. I flew quite a few times when I was in the service and stuff, but it was all in the States. They wouldn't let me go to another country. And no, it wasn't because I had a record. I was in the Army. I was an MP. They just wouldn't let me leave.
The ankle bracelet held you back, right?
Yeah. I was an MP, and they still had me locked up.
What I find funny is you're thanking us for coming on your panel. Well, you might not thank me after the end.
What'd I do? You're not gonna fart, are you? Okay.
No, I leave that to someone else. I don't have that.
Well, let's start off with the first question. I pre-wrote some questions, and I'm going to ask you like one at a time to kind of do this, so we're not talking over each other. We all have different ideas on how we pre-trip and everything like that. So, the first question I have, Zeke, I'll start with you. Is what is your favorite website for pre-planning your trips?
It's a great question. Whenever I try to go to Europe, I use this website called tripmasters.com, and you can go into TripMasters and you can set up your whole entire itinerary through them. And they obviously have business deals with certain airlines and certain hotels, And then if you wanted to book excursions through TripMasters also, you can build that into your itinerary. If you want to take a train from one city to another, you can add that in there too. And so anytime I've gone to Europe, I use that website, TripMasters.
Right.
And it puts it all together. And because they do have these deals with all these hotels, you get a pretty decent price. For example, I went to Italy. I was in Italy for almost 2 weeks, and then I went up north into Switzerland. I did northern Italy into Switzerland, and I used TripMasters for the whole thing. They booked. This is a perfect example of their customer service, also. But they booked all the flights, they booked all the hotels, they booked all the trains. I added some excursions in there, to get. This is prior to YouTube, so I was taking a lot of pictures. I would book like a day tour to get the touristy pictures, and then a day trip into Switzerland. But that whole entire trip was only about $1,000 through TripMasters.
Wow.
And that was everything.
Is it tripmasters.com or?
I believe so. I mean, if you go into Google and type TripMasters, it'll come up. But I use that for I used it for Germany. I used it for the Czech Republic. I used it for all over Europe. But I like to use that if I'm going to Europe. But you can do it for other parts of the world also. Lately, because of YouTube, now whenever I go somewhere, I know people, because YouTube's so international. All I really do is look up flights now, and then people who I know in certain areas of where I'm going help me out with the rest. So perfect example is, I'm going to Thailand. All I have to do is book a flight there. I have a friend that has 4 condos in Pattaya, Thailand, and he's like, you can stay there for free. And I'm like, okay,
there you go.
So, YouTube has changed a little bit as far as planning. It just basically comes down to, just finding good airfare. But other than that, if I do go to Europe or if I want to plan a trip, I use TripMasters.
Cool. Okay. How about you, Darren? What do you use when you pre-trip?
I'm a little different because I'm in a lot of different industries. So I'm a seasoned journalist. I do events. And so what I do is I go to the government websites first of where I'm going. That has a lot of things. And then so that's how I find out. Government websites have meeting planners, kind of either media, or they have meeting planner sections in their websites. So if it's a meeting planner, you reach out to a destination management company, DMCs. They're experts in the area. So they can kind of suggest different hotels and things to do there. If it's a journalistic trip, like when I go to Las Vegas, I reach out to, usually I have all the PR contacts that they can supply me with all the PR contacts, and I can reach out to them directly. Then I work with Corporate Traveler, and Corporate Traveler is a global organization. They'll plan the flights. And so that takes care of that. And they're TICO certified in Ontario. So if anything happens, I get a refund. So they're a registered travel agency to book things. So usually either I'm entertained by either the tourism board or I'm entertained by DMC directly from the hotels, or I book things directly myself to the PR people. And they usually waive some things as well. But Corporate Traveler is the one I use.
Cool. Okay. King, how about you? Is there a certain website you use?
It's a combination of a lot. It depends where I'm going. So, for example, I use the basic Airbnb, and plus because I'm in Korea, Booking, Agoda. Another thing, sometimes I usually like to get my visa before. So even for the Philippines, I usually like to always even check the consulate websites to add to that, because, like, for example, I would just get the 59-day tourist visa ahead of time at the LA consulate.
Oh, okay.
Smart.
So you do that all in advance.
Yeah, I'd rather do that in advance because sometimes I might not have the pesos on me to extend the 29 more days, for example, the Philippines, because we get 30-day on arrival. Well, course, I can change now because we don't know what they're going to do.
Right. Yeah, right. That's a definite thing right there. To everybody out there, hello, hello. Sorry, I haven't said hello to everybody, but I know there's quite a few people in the house. But thank you for stopping by. Uh, so let's get what I got up here next. Uh, when you book a flight, do you look for a specific country to lay over? Darren, we'll start with you on this one.
I
Like,
did.
go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, because when I went to Bali, Indonesia, I was looking for a layover because I never experienced the American Express Centurion Lounge. So I specifically took that route to go through Hong Kong, so I could experience that. Otherwise, I try to maybe somewhere about halfway. If you have to do a layover, I prefer not to. If you have to do layover, uh, I try to do specific maybe countries that I haven't seen. When I went to Oman, I went through London, and I've never been to London. It was a 13-hour layover. So when I stopped in, I did a day trip inside the city of London for 10 hours. So I did a bus tour,
Cool.
a walking tour, and a boat tour. And then I went back to
awesome.
the airport. So it was good use of my time. So that was a good experience.
Yeah, because I've talked to people who said they really like picking a country where they can go and they can get a long layover and spend some time there. It's kind of like an in between, like a break that they go to this country for maybe 10 hours, then they head on to where they're actually going. So,
Yeah.
OUFN, thank you, sir, for coming in.
No
Hey,
problem.
Andrea, what's going on?
Hey, ZK, Darren,
What's
Kingley.
that?
Not
Did,
much.
did
How
I
you guys
did I
doing?
for, did I forget to send you one, or were you just
No,
running late
no.
today? Okay, I didn't know
I
if
was
it was my
running.
fault or not.
Yeah, I was running late.
Okay. Well, I had one question before this. I don't know if it was a big deal for you. Pre-planning your trip, do you use a certain website when you pre-plan your trips?
Actually, to be honest, I would always pay for my tickets like almost like 6 months ahead of time. I'd use a firm. I know people probably like, oh, just pay up front and stuff. But with the if you're a person that's kind of like on a budget and stuff, paying the little interest, if it's $100, goes a long way because then you get more time to, plan your trip ahead of time. And planning is like a big, big, big thing for me. I think that's what didn't allow me to go to the Philippines in 2017 because I was just like ready to just bite off more than I can chew for no reason. And I decided, hey, we're gonna go to the like this place in the Philippines, and I didn't really plan it out. And then until my passport, I expedited it, but it came the day of my flight leaving.
Oh,
So
Wow.
the anxiety was killing me, and then I lost $800
oh
for the
my God.
flight and stuff, and I was not prepared. So coming back and using the website Affirm and paying for my ticket, and then allowed me for 6 months to plan my trip accordingly, going through Thailand and stuff. And I probably would do it again. I wouldn't lie.
It worked out for you
Yeah,
after
but
using the
I
site?
did use Agoda though. I used Agoda too. I got pretty good
Okay.
deals and stuff for hotels.
Well, at least you only lost $800. That's like one night of drinking.
Well, $800 in Thailand, it's like a weekend, or $800 goes a long way there. So
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
it's a lesson learned. It's a lesson
Well,
learned.
listen. Let me ask you this. We're on the second question here. When you book a flight, I guess you don't book in advance, but when you book a flight, do you look for a specific country to lay over in when you fly internationally, or have you done that?
I have a
Or
horror story. I have a horror story
Oh
going
no.
to China where I had got scammed. I had to stay in Shanghai for about a day, and I was gonna stay 12 hours in China, but they told us that like we couldn't stay in the airport, so I had to do.
Oh,
The thing is, when you travel, is you don't really realize when you look at those like +1, +2, like those are the stops. Maybe I think it's like a stops, and then they don't tell you the layovers. Like you really got to read the itinerary, what you're doing, because if you don't, a person that's never really traveled, they're just gonna look at it and then just they're so happy to go to this country, but they're not realizing like, yeah, you may be
yeah.
paying $1,000, but the airlines are just trying to get you to get these tickets. They want to fill up a seat, but you're getting hosed when you don't realize you're doing like a a 12-hour, 15-hour layover, and you don't really have to plan for where you're going to go in those 12 hours.
So
So
you're not looking. Like I said, I talked to a couple of people who said they look for a long layover, certain countries on their way to wherever they're going, and kind of sneak into a 10-hour trip where they're at, and then they continue on where they're going. That's not something you looked at.
if I am, I would go totally opposite from where I'm actually gonna go. So if I go to Asia, like I would literally, like when I went to Switzerland, like the layover, it was like 10 hours, but it was like, exploring around the area and stuff. I didn't go too far from the airport, but like going there and then going to China. No, I mean going straight to Bangkok was much enjoyable. When I went to China, it was more like it's so big and vast, and like the language, was a big problem.
Yeah.
So I just didn't feel like doing the layover there was,
Enjoyable.
I didn't enjoy it as much. So, and I went to the same place and in the same people, and it just like switched up, and I don't want to make this a bashing thing, but it just felt like they didn't the airport didn't accommodate the foreigners. Like it didn't matter. Like if you were Chinese, you're first, but if then it went like Asian, Southeast Asian second, then like you're like fourth citizen or fourth foreigner in their country. So yeah, I advise anybody go to, if you're gonna fly to places like the Philippines, or go to the Middle East, or go to Europe.
Wow. Okay. King, how about you? When you fly back and forth and stuff, you look for long layovers or no layovers?
No, I like the straight shot, get in, get out, but because it helps being on the West Coast.
Right.
So, and I'd rather fly like a major airline like Korean Air. You can't go wrong with Korean Air. And plus, because I know how it is with Koreans in general, they're not going to put up with any crap. So
Okay.
I knew I couldn't go wrong. So every time I fly Korean Air, of course, it's easy shot from Seattle to Seoul, LA to Seoul. That's 8 hours, 10 hours straight shot. But if I'm going to Thailand from most of the time there is a layover in Korea for a few hours, and then you can go into Bangkok or Vietnam.
Right.
But
Okay.
because I'm lucky to have a base in Korea, most of the times I just go to Korea, take care of business, because I have to always pick up stuff for my dad here in the States, and then I just wait, and then I just book my quick flight to Philippines from Seoul to Cebu. It's 4 hours straight shot.
Right.
So it's easy. Or to Bangkok, it's 5.5 hours straight shot. So I just take care of business first in Korea, because I'm lucky to have the visa that I have, and then from there I can travel anywhere. It's so easy from Korea.
Okay. Just take a little nap, 2-hour nap, and you're there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So Zeke, how about you? When you're booking flights, are you looking for any layovers or no?
No, not really. I'm kind of like King. I want to get there. If I have a layover, if I have a long time in between flights or whatever, the only thing on my mind is like, this is time that I could be flying to get there, So I don't really look for any longer layovers or anything in between, to tell you the truth. Going to Thailand this time, I'm flying Finn Air, and I'm flying from JFK to Helsinki. And that was kind of intriguing to me because I'd never been to Helsinki. So I did book that flight, and then Helsinki straight down to Bangkok. So that was kind of a different route that I've seen, rather than flying to the West Coast and then across the ocean. I thought going to Helsinki was pretty cool. And I already looked, and they have like a local food shop in Helsinki. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to get at least a food video out of being in the airport there. So.
Right. Now, you guys, when you do stop and lay over anywhere, even if it's for 3-4 hours, do you look to leave the airport or do you look to stay in the airport? Darren?
Stay in the airport unless it's a long layover. Like once again, when I fly, if it's something like when it was London, it was easily English speaking, so I kind of knew what I wanted to do. But if it's a country there, I'll have either a friend meet me there or someone there, anybody, because you have to, when you're going, you have to get back, and that could be a hassle. So I prefer just to stay, like I say, maybe I like a comfortable layover, say 4 hours, because sometimes the plane might arrive 2 hours late. So I try to do that, and I can go to the lounge, have a shower, get some food, connect to the internet and check up on messages, and then I continue on my way. That's my ideal situation to get from one place to the other.
Okay. Yeah. OUFN, he doesn't like to leave the airports anymore because.
No, to be honest, it depends on like the airport in Bangkok. It has the train that goes directly out of the airport to the city, to MRT. So if you don't have that, like Japan, going to was it Nida, I think, or I forget the airport name, but they would have the train. So if you don't have something type of transportation from the airport there, leaving the airport and getting into a van or whatever, or some type of car could, it's very intimidating, for someone that's a first time traveler, or you don't have somebody with you.
You got to figure out a whole other way that you didn't do research for,
The thing is, though, what I like about traveling is, like, I don't know, I go into like a fight or flight type of mindset. So I start like game planning in my head before. Like, I watched so many videos before I went to Bangkok, but when I got there, it's different from when you're actually like, walking. But everything came back to me, catching, like, I got to catch this train, or I got to go from A to B, and all those things. So I do prefer to, take the layover. I don't, if it's like 10 hours, I'll try to explore. But if you don't have like some type of transportation going out of the airport, like a train or something like that, I don't know.
I think for me, like, since I haven't internationally flown, it would scare the hell out of me if the language is, if you land someplace where nobody's speaking English, you know what I'm saying? If I can't talk to somebody to find out where I need to go, I'm not leaving the airport. I'm just watching for that plane to land or wherever I got to go. I would be scared to leave the airport and get lost, and then you miss your plane and stuff. King and Zeke, are you guys any different? You guys like to leave the airport, or you guys like to just hang tight? King, I guess.
Yeah. It just depends. Like as Andrew said, for China, oh heck no, I don't even want to leave.
Okay.
I've been there. And I didn't even land when I went to China. I didn't even land in a big city. I landed in a smaller city with 5 million people, and that was a struggle. I was worried about being scammed by the taxi driver.
Yeah.
Man, how about you, Zeke?
No, I pretty much stay in the airport. I've never really gone out. Like I said before, I don't book long layovers. So, I just like to get home or get there. So.
I'm with all you guys, man. I ain't going nowhere. It's bad enough I'm probably lost on the airplane.
Where's the toilet?
Yeah.
Thought I had an aisle seat.
Hey, last time I flew, we had an outhouse on the wing out there, so that's been a long time. So we'll start with you on this, King. Will entry requirements change your mindset on what countries you want to visit? So, like, if you want to go visit, you're thinking about going to visit other countries with the new requirements that are going on, because we still don't know what the new requirements are anywhere. They're still working on that. But is that going to change your mindset on where you might want to visit?
A little, but not much. But it all is based on, our visa requirements.
Right. Okay.
So I mean, luckily, we mostly as Americans and Mr. Canadian up there too, we get like 90 days in most first world countries, and of course, Darren, you're lucky. If you come to Korea, you get a 6 months tourist visa in Korea.
6 months.
Yeah. Now, that do you think our visa is going to, or our as the United States, are we still going to be able to do that in most countries, or are we going to get kicked around now because of this?
I don't think it'll be that bad. But one thing is now, even just to add a note for South Korea for Americans, now it's going to be like, if we have to go into Vietnam, there might be now an online application for $10 to come into South Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm still waiting.
You think our passports are still going to be strong then?
Yeah, I still think it is. It's still going to be strong. Of course, like a couple countries we can't go into, like, Iran, we need like someone to take us in, like one of my Iranian American friends.
Everybody raise your hand who wants to. Yeah, everybody raise your hand who wants to go to Iran.
Yeah, I do.
Let's put it this way: I almost went when I was in the service, because I was in during 1979 when all that was going on, and so we were going over there, and it wasn't the way I wanted to go visit. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surrounded by Iranians in my neighborhood here in Korea.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing. You can't blame the people for all this crazy government stuff sometimes, right?
Our U.S. government,
Yeah. So Zeke, how about you? Has that changed your mindset any? Have you been keeping your eye on any new requirements and stuff?
Yeah.
Entry requirements?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I probably wouldn't even be traveling, the next month if it wasn't for, the fact that when you get to Thailand, there's only a 1-day quarantine, and that's just because you have to wait for your test results. But, I went to Mexico City in March, and I was there for 10 days, and that was just like flying regularly international. I just had to have a test to get in, a negative test to get in. That was it. Mm-hmm. So I had my negative test and my passport for Mexico. And I was in just like a regular, you obviously have to go through customs, but I was in Mexico 10 days and all he took was a negative test. Wow. So it definitely did. I mean, I don't have a lot of time that I get off from work. I only have about, maybe I have 3 weeks per year. So, if I was, say, to go somewhere and I had to quarantine for 5 days of my vacation, why go type of thing. So, yeah, it definitely has, and I, definitely has made my decision on where I would go or what I would do. If these entry requirements still stayed the same and things weren't lightening up throughout the world, I would just continue traveling through the U.S.
Right. Yeah, I think this, out of everything, this has kind of made everybody that likes to travel pay more attention before they go, what's going on than what they did before. You say, oh, I'm going to fly over to Thailand. Now I'm going to fly over to Thailand. I better start, looking and see what's going on. And I think it could be that way even for another year, until everything settles in anyway.
Yeah.
So how about you, Andrew? Does that change new entry requirements? Is that changing your mind on anything, or are you waiting to see?
I'm still waiting. I mean, there's so many other countries to see. Even the Philippines had a 1-day quarantine. I'm still not going there. I don't want to wear the face shield. Like, I don't, I'm out there, and sometimes I do like going to places that are, like Manila, like, even though it's a lot of people been there, but I never been there. So if it's a city that I have to go in and where, I'm used to traveling without a hockey mask or some type of visor on my face. I don't feel like doing it. So in South America, it's places like Costa Rica, in my mother's country, and Nicaragua, that I would love to see, that don't really require that, even though they have a lot of political rifts in places like that. But for me, it's about, enjoying myself, and I don't want to have the restraints of like being in a hotel for like 7 days, because like especially when you travel to Asia, you're gonna on an average be on a plane for 18 hours, especially coming from the East Coast. It's like 18-20 hours, and if you're the guy that's cheap, get ready to spend like 30 hours flying, and then you got to go to a hotel, and then you're gonna be in a one of those specialized hotels for like 7 days. I feel like the world's too big, and there's other places to see, and you'd be surprised what you see out there. Like, I've been to Canada, and I've been waiting to go back to Canada. I went to Montreal, I've been to Ontario and stuff. And every time I leave there, I'm like, man, this is a fun place, you know. First time I seen Tim Hortons, right?
Quiet.
Tim Hortons.
Bravo!
I grew up in Michigan. I've never even been to Canada.
That's crazy. That's because you've never been out of the U.S.
Wow.
Chained to something.
Isn't that so? Well, you know, the problem is I go over there and I got to go through Detroit, and I just don't make it through Detroit. So
Yeah,
I get
right.
stopped. I stop somewhere, and the girls come out dancing, and you just don't leave. So,
Yeah,
So-
all the women take all his money. There's nothing left coming in.
that's it. So, how about you, Darren? Is this entry requirements? Are you keeping a close eye on everything?
Yes, I do, because that's when. First of all, will they allow people in? I don't. I travel anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, so I don't want to be quarantined for one week. That's a waste of money and time, and sometimes you have to pay more for those hotels. So it's as they lighten things up, the entry requirements, to where you don't have to quarantine, because if you're vaccinated, you have the proof. You got to do PCR. That's okay, but if you have to stay 5, 10, 14 days, you got to pay for a hotel. That's your whole vacation that you're paying for nothing. So forget that. So I'll wait till things get relaxed and things get a little easier, and then I'll start picking the places where I go.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's kind of early to be asking these questions, but we're close. I think we're really close. I know, everybody knows Thailand is going to start. They're supposed to November 1st, but they were supposed to in October also. So hold your breath for a little bit until November 1st and see what happens. And I think I just had the feeling that Philippines is going to watch Thailand and see what happens.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think Thailand is where slate. They've always been like the number one destination in all of Southeast Asia, and to be honest, in the world. So I mean, it would be obvious that these countries are like, hey, Thailand, let's see what you do. And I think, to be honest, no matter what, people say it's never going to be the same and things, but you got to look at like where you're at. There's nothing like Thailand. There's nothing like the Philippines. There's nothing like America, but there's nothing like, these places where there's this unlimited of like, fun and just going out and enjoying yourself.
What do you mean by fun? What are you talking about?
You want to be serious?
No.
Like, single
there isn't.
Couples. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's just to be out and traveling and stuff and going out and doing, like, I saw how I felt like when I got to the hotel and I just opened the the windows, and I was like, okay, I got this whole time for myself to do whatever I want to do, and I was at my happiest. Like, I'm not saying I'm not happy, but I was really just super freedom, and I just wish that whole pandemic just kind of destroyed all that stuff.
Right. So everybody listening, look in the description. I have all their YouTube channels listed. Zeke, I got you for Zeekman. I got you for Zeekman Travels. So look in their description. Go visit their channels. King is in South Korea. The rest of us, 2 or 3 of us, are in the United States. Darren is in Canada for some reason. We don't know why he's in Canada.
Was I born here?
we got to have somebody from Canada. No, Darren, go visit Darren's page. Absolutely, everybody. And so let's get to this next one. Do you have a preference of what airline you fly with? We'll start with you, Andrew.
Going over there, the cheapest.
So no preference, huh?
No, I had a when I was in Asia, I loved flying. I forgot the name of it, but I think, let me see, Thekingleeway, if you can give me some airlines.
Qatar.
I flew United leaving there, and they were all right. I had no issues with them. I think Hathaway, whatever. I forgot the name. Hathaway. They were pretty decent. So I mean, in Asia, I don't know the name of the Japanese airline. If you can fill me in, I think it was Anita.
Japan Air.
What was it? Yeah. No. It could be. You know what? I'm just gonna stick to my friend. Whatever the cheapest is, besides Spirit and domestic, I'll never fly that. But internationally,
were they called the Wright brothers?
Probably. Your feet
Spirit should be.
Yeah, I'm not too good with
Andrew?
knowing the difference between the airlines, but I fly whatever is most convenient. As long as there's enough space. Because some airlines, like I flew United, it's weird. I flew United going there, and it was fine, but flying the United back, it was very like tight quarters. I don't know if it was the numbers of them, the 737s or whatever. But I guess it depends on the number of the Boeing or whatever. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not, if it's a certain type of airline, I don't really have a preference or whatever.
Okay, Darren, how about you? You got a preference, or just whatever the business sends you on?
Well, I'm the one paying for it. It's my business.
Okay.
So I look, if I'm going somewhere that's unique, I'll look at, there is websites that have the top airlines. So I will not pick the bottom ones. So there are ones to avoid. So I'll pay a little, like if I want to save money, I'll do economy class, but at least I'm going on a airline that has a decent reputation, that they won't cancel the flight, or there won't be a bad experience that's constantly late or stuff like that. So that's what I look for, top airlines. And I have people in the industry, so I ask around, and they can kind of recommend what's better.
Robert.
So we got Robert, one hungry traveler in the house.
Hey, Robert, what's up, man?
Hey, Robert.
So Zeekman, how about you on the airlines? You have a certain airline you like to fly?
If I'm flying and I'm staying in the United States, I try to fly JetBlue because I have my JetBlue credit card that I get points on. I also like to fly Delta. But as far as international, I'm like right there with Andrew. I find out what's cheaper, and then I'll do a little research on the airline, because I don't want to be, cramped up on a, anywhere between 8 and 15-hour flight. So.
Well, how about you, King? You got it. I think you said Korean Airlines.
Yeah. Usually, I like to just fly first domestically. I do have Southwest, but sometimes I like to avoid Southwest, especially what's been happening. But I like Zeekman Delta. I would fly Delta in the U.S. But of course, because Korean Air, I'm part of the Sky Pass program with Korean Air. Plus, I can use some of my miles to sit in the lounge if I need to.
There you go. Yeah, I heard some guys talking about. Yeah, I heard guys like the lounges that come with it. Mr. One Hungry Traveler, sir, do you have an airline you like to fly?
I like Emirates.
Emirates?
Yeah.
And the most expensive airline out there, right? Because
No, not really.
it's got to be close.
No,
Well, you told me you're paying for those tickets to go to Thailand.
no. In economy, it's cheaper than even Delta or something like that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But like you said, the Emirates has a great lounge and stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Yes.
Sean said something. The Eva Air, which is like the 770, which is I think it depends on the space. Like I think it was Japan Air when I was going back from this Japan to New York. Like they have like this, I don't know what it is, but like on the side it's like they had like in the back it's all spacious. Like the leg room was great, and I think it's like comfortability is, even though if you're flying coach, because if you get the money to fly business, then go ahead, do it. But if you don't, that's so important. It's just your leg space. You don't want to be next to some, they put you next to some grease balls, like in general, when you get like a ticket, it's like, $900. Like, okay, we're going to put you next to some, 275-pound grease ball. Like there's like 8 seats back there, it's like,
or you're next to the woman with 3 kids.
There's always
Andrew,
somebody.
I'm not a pound over 200, so
yeah. There's always somebody with a baby. Like it's always annoying when you get those flights. It's like somebody just wants to fly. Like you're in a, really you're gonna take your baby. It's been you just went through pregnancy. Now you're on a flight for 23 hours. It's crazy.
Cool.
You still get that sitting in business class.
Yeah, I just like go to sleep.
Yeah.
I was sitting in business class once, and there's a couple of crying babies on the flight because it's against the wall, They're like, "Can we move you forward so you're not inconvenienced?" I'm like, "No, I'm fine."
Yeah, Robert is one of those snobs who likes to fly business and stay away from us guys in the back.
Did you see the pictures? Sit at a table the whole flight.
Yeah, yeah. So let me start with you then, Mr. Robert, since you just showed up. When making plans, what are the top 2 things you look for when you're going somewhere?
Just where I want to be and what I feel like eating during that time. Stuff like
More about food than anything?
yeah, more about food and then the trip. I like the trip there.
Yeah, because we were talking about layovers. This is the gentleman that loves layovers because he likes to go wandering. Robert
Well, I
will
mean,
take a walk out of the airport.
if you do the layover right, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like you started your vacation already, I guess. You kind of stopping at like as you're driving, you stop at a city and you go through the city and check it out, I guess, if you
Yeah.
treat it
Yep.
that way. Yeah. So Zeke,
Always
man,
helps.
how
Always
about
helps when they include the hotel.
Yeah. Yeah, you like a clean hotel.
No, 13-hour layover. I'll leave the airport and go sit in a hotel or go explore the city.
Well,
this is
right.
a few years ago.
So Zeke, man, when making plans, what's the top 2 things you kind of look for if you're going to go visiting and run around for a minute?
Number 1 is food and cuisine, and just different types of things that I may have never had before. And I'm on this quest to obviously visit each continent. So, that's the number 2 aspect. So I have a tentative plan over the next couple of years where I want to go. But I would like to touch down, around the world. So.
Wow, really? So you want to go everywhere?
Yeah, I'm hoping eventually I can just go, So
Zeekman, you need to make one of those videos of like you in the bathroom in every continent.
That's a good one.
Every country.
Squatting or not, right?
How about you, Darren? Is there 2 things what's the top 2 things you look for when you go to traveling? Other than business, if you're going personal and stuff,
I don't want to limit it to 2. When I go things, it's to experience something new. So the culture, the people, the food, and the experiences. So when I get to Oman, I got to ride a camel in the desert, do glamping, go to a wadi. The food, of course, but the people. I love people, as everybody knows. So I'm going to learn about the culture, the location, and I like the whole experience. I just don't want to limit it to 2.
Well, no, I just meant your top 2 is all because I know you got to leave us in a short while here. I saw that pop up on my screen already. Andrew, how about you? What's the top 2 things you look for when you're going somewhere? You're going to another country. What's the top 2 things you look at? What is, I guess you could say, the 2 must-have things, or you're not going?
For not going?
What's the 2 top things for going?
I look for a place that has like great infrastructure. If they have a great transportation, like train system. That was one of the reasons I love Bangkok, because it was you can get to places easily, and my conversion rate, and I know people say, hey, well, Italy and all these places, Europe. But to be honest, like you can't really enjoy it. I mean, unless you're like a guy that just is rich. But no, all honesty, I'm not a rich person, so I travel on a budget and I have a plan. That's why that's the first thing I look for. Can I go to that place? And I'm not saying I'm a 2-week millionaire, but can I have the best time possible? And money's important, so yeah, that's a factor, is my money conversion and infrastructure.
Okay. How about you, King?
Let's see.
Top 2.
2.
Well, yeah.
Andrew took one of them, like infrastructure. Like I would love always good internet, but of course, I've been to Philippines, but you can still have. But if you're in a major city, it's still not an issue like in Cebu or Manila. And just the ease to get around, and sometimes safety is another big thing too. So
Okay. Yeah,
making sure
safety is a
yeah. So you don't have to like keep looking over your shoulder. You're always like, whoa, like in the States.
right. Well, it depends on what city. If you're in the big city in the States, yeah, I mean that's a big deal. And Zeekman, you've been to Europe. How is safety over there? What did you feel safe when you were in Europe?
Yeah, but as a solo traveler, I tend to not really go out late at night or even drink if I'm out at night. I'm usually back at the hotel like when it starts when it's dark out. For that reason is I don't want to ever be put in a situation where my safety is a concern. When I was in Mexico City, I was fortunate enough that everyone that I was down there with has lived in Mexico City. So we were in neighborhoods that I probably wouldn't have been in if I was by myself, but they knew we would be safe, that type of thing. But I mean, I'm pretty self-conscious about where I am and what's around me, and I'm always aware of if I feel I shouldn't be there, then I probably shouldn't.
Right. Yeah, just kind of skedaddle out there as fast as you can or something. Because I really haven't had a chance to talk to too many people that have been to Europe, even though that's on my bucket list big time.
Yeah.
But
What I like about going to Europe is like all of the towns in Europe are basically about the same. They have a central area. They have trains that come into the central area. If you stay in hotels in the central area, for the most part, you're pretty safe. So that's the one thing I like about Europe is once you mastered one city or one place you went to, almost all of the other cities are pretty much the same. So the learning curve in Europe isn't as extreme as saying going from China to I don't know, Thailand, type of thing. So
okay, huh, interesting. How's the money exchange in Europe? Is it you losing out or?
Yeah, like Andrew was saying, you really got to keep an eye on it. What I do is I call my bank prior to going, and I say, hey, this is where I'm going. I want to go, and they kind of keep an eye on it, and they'll call and say, hey, we have a good exchange rate today. Is that you want to move forward? And I'll be
Call
yeah.
loan shark.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
I've had the same bank for I've used the same bank for like over 30 something years. So they all know me and they do favors for me like that. So it's pretty cool.
All right. Let's get to this one. Is there a favorite food you can't wait to try in your favorite country? The favorite country you're going to, like Zeke, you're going to Thailand in December. King, what when you're going somewhere other than Korea or United States, what is the food of your choice? Like whatever country you're going to, other than those two.
Let's say, like for example, like where Zeekman's going, I always look forward to getting some pad thai or pad see ew because not going to cost $20 back in like where Zeke, like New York or anything. It'll be only like $1 or $2, and just chowing down on that.
Oh. How about you, OUFN? Your favorite country other than the United States? What is the food that you look? What's the first food you're always looking forward to eat? Let's say you're going to Thailand. What is it that you would go? Okay, I'm going to go to Thailand. This is the first food I want to try.
To be honest, all their food is is. I really can't put a finger on the food in Thailand because it all ranges. I mean, you're gonna get like the food from the provinces like Isan and stuff like, they have their basil rice and chicken, but it's the spice. But to be honest, there's a dessert that they had and it's a street food. It's like they take like a fritter, and then they put like bananas and they put Nutella and they spread it, and then they put vanilla, and then they put another like I don't know what it was, like some type of frappe or whatever, and then they'll put more Nutella. That's the one thing I remember. Like
Roti.
eating there, and they cut it in like little squares.
Yeah,
I don't know
roti,
Robert, if you ever had it, but that was one thing I remember just enjoying.
Rochester train market.
I have a video of that on my channel.
Okay, yeah. So it's just generally street food. I think the convenience of the street food in general was something that I enjoy. I really can't because all the food is great there.
All right. How about you, Robert? What is the food you look forward to eat other than going to Thailand? Is there another? And when you go to another country, is there a food that you go, I want to go over there and try that?
Other than Thailand,
Other than Thailand, because I know you live in Thailand half the time. So
um, I would like to go to
Don't-
Japan and do the food stuff there, but it's expensive.
yeah, I love Japan, and but it's so westernized that it's just like going to the United States to me. I think even the women there. And I'm not going to say any more about that.
Yeah,
How
it was
about
like
Darren? Darren, is there a favorite food you look forward to when you go flying to another country?
I look for a local cuisine that's that the countries are famous for. And I don't want to have Canadian American food. I want to try something that's related to their culture. And so I like
Something out of your realm that you
haven't tried before. Yeah, and I'm like when I went to Hong Kong and China. In China had ox intestine, and I'll say something else, but I won't say it. Other food as well. I'll try anything once, anything
No.
once, but I'll leave the cockroaches till I reach 100,000 subscribers.
I heard they
Like,
got.
high
I
power.
heard they have very good chocolate covered cockroaches in Thailand. I heard they're very good.
It's true.
I haven't
ate-
tried it, but I heard they're very good. Now,
I ate on Koshan Road. I ate they gave me like the scorpion on the stick, but
Oh, yeah.
it wasn't it didn't have the guts in it, but they like fry it and they
Yeah.
put like vinegar and like some salt.
Mhm.
And to be honest, I really enjoyed it. Even though I was really drunk, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
oh, so you had a scorpion on a stick?
I had a scorpion and a little arachnid. I don't know what it was. I think it was like the arachnid version of the scorpion, but it was really good. The lady kept coming up to me like all the time, and I kept like,
That's probably the cockroach.
Was it the dung beetle?
No, it was that weird looking scorpion that looked like a spider, and then there was the real scorpion. And I was like, oh, whatever, and I went for it.
Yeah.
How about you, Zeke? Is there something you're looking forward to when you get to Thailand in December?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have the video that I did in Mexico where I ate the live cockroach, and then I ate a fried cockroach. But I've been eating like exotic foods like that for a while. I mean, I was in Germany and I ate pork bile soup, and it had pig lung in it and everything, and it's pretty tasty actually. So going to Thailand, I mean, as far as standard cuisine, I want to try like fresh somtam papaya salad. Like I want to try like from the source, But as far as exotic cuisine, I think they have a pork blood soup there that I want to try. Pork blood soup.
Blood. I've heard of that. I've
I
heard of
just want
that.
to know who would try monkey brains if given the opportunity. That's what I want to know.
Well, it wouldn't be
I
me.
knew it. There's
I'd
my
eat it.
brother.
There's no way. I don't think so. Hey, listen,
brains are creamy.
Yeah.
They're creamy.
That's my brother and the monkeys.
So how about we're gonna start with you, Zeke. Do you have a favorite YouTuber that you follow in the country you're going to? Is there somebody you follow over there that you've learned about Thailand or something that you'd want to meet? And I know we're all YouTubers, but that's the deal on this.
I follow. I mean, Andrew and I actually have had this conversation separately. We both follow pretty much the same people. As far as outside of Thailand, there's Harold Balder. I like to follow him. Bald and Bankrupt. There's a new guy that I've been following. He's from Long Island. His channel is called Sabbatical. He's really cool to watch. But honestly, the inspiration behind like doing food videos and travel videos from someone who's in Thailand, who's actually born in Arizona, is Mark Wiens. You watch his videos and his excitement, not only just for like him eating awesome, amazing foods, but his excitement for the travel and sharing his excitement is something that has inspired me to start focusing more on a food-based channel, and then having my own separate, with the Zeekman Travels, doing travel adventures. But Mark Wiens is probably my biggest influence on YouTube, and then overall, my overall influence in life is Anthony Bourdain.
Well, I've heard of weeds through Robert's stuff because he's so big in Thailand, I guess. Anthony Bourdain, wow, he just passed away last year.
No, I think
Last
it
year or
was
the year
A couple
before.
years ago.
Was it before? Okay, I
Yeah.
couldn't remember. But yeah, I mean, I've heard of weeds through everybody else. How about you, Darren? Do you watch YouTubers in other countries? You want to go meet?
Yeah, there's one called Rick Steves. He's really famous from America. He travels all around the world. So I'm going to try and emulate him when I'm doing travel videos. But the main one in the Philippines is Becoming Filipino. It's a Canadian out of British Columbia, Canada. So I follow him. But of course, I like to follow charity vloggers, and, automotive vloggers, travel vloggers, stuff of that sort. So those are the ones I follow.
Okay. How about you, King? Anybody? Is there a YouTuber out there you want to meet anywhere?
Yeah. Well, Zeekman took the one guy I was going to mention, Mark Wiens.
Okay.
That's one of the ones because he pretty much goes all over the world. Even came here. I've learned, like stuff like, oh, I could have just went to the consulate here in Itaewon and got a 60-day visa and extend 30 more, and then the exact foods that I don't eat in this country that I was like, oh, I forgot about that much.
All right. Yeah, I've heard a lot about him. That's for sure. Andrew, is there anybody else that you follow that you want to meet other than what you and Zeke follow there?
Yeah, obviously Mark. Mark's probably like he's the entirety of the inspiration, but some new guys. Retired working for you in Thailand. He's a new channel. I just like the way that he just edits and he just talks about facts and stuff, and he really interacts with his viewers and stuff. He challenges them. He may start things and stuff. So he's really I don't know, and he's got a really great spirit and stuff. And then
what was his name?
Retired working for you. So he retired now. He makes videos in Thailand and stuff, and he's just really there's a lot of fun people like the trolls and stuff that have channels and stuff, but just in general, these people are really do good content. And my guy rides for kicks in Thailand. I don't know if you ever heard him, but he does all his vlogs on a scooter driving around Thailand. But the thing about it is he really just goes from place to place and he keeps you informed. He's always his narration of it, and then it's just a lot of people that I've kind of watched before, and he interconnects a lot of people with each other and stuff. Yeah, if you guys check out those Retired Working for You, Rides for Kicks, and then if you guys never seen Mark.
I've seen Rides for Kicks. I've heard of him. Did he go to the Philippines for a little bit or something? I can't remember.
Did.
Yeah, I know I've seen him over there. Robert, how about you? Is there anybody? You probably met all the YouTubers you follow over there in Thailand, I guess. Is there somebody in another country or somebody that travels all over that you'd love to just kind of run into one day?
Bye, Scotty. I'm going to bow out. Got to go do my live stream.
Okay. Hey, thanks for coming on, Darren. Appreciate it, buddy.
Guys.
See you, Darren.
Let's do it again soon.
All right. Thanks, Darren.
God bless.
Not really in particular and stuff. I started watching Mark Wiens, and then just started watching a whole bunch of channels. So
right. I know you don't really watch YouTube. You watch it, but you don't watch it like we do and stuff. So I know it's a little different for you. Just got a couple more, guys. Just some easy stuff. Is there? Well, we already did that. Is there a favorite destination? Zeke, when you go to Thailand in December, is there a favorite? Is there a destination that you've been looking at, going, I want to go to that spot? OUFN, same for you. Uh, do you have a Zeke? Do you have a favorite destination that you've seen over there on maybe on videos or something? That I would need to go to that spot in person.
Not really, to tell you the truth. I just want to see as much and do as much as possible when I'm there. I'll be there for 2 weeks, so I'll have a lot of time. So there's not really anything that stands out. I just want to eat and just have fun.
I love that.
Fun.
I love that video with the last video you did down. What was it for the carnival for? I forget what you were eating there. You were eating a big ass sandwich up the garlic festival. Yeah, man. My sister got me hooked on that when I moved to Washington State. Garlic, but I've never had it that much. That was a lot of garlic.
That thing up. There was a lot of garlic.
Yes, it was.
Is that a pretty good festival?
What would you say,
I was
Robert?
saying, is that a pretty good festival? The garlic
Yeah,
festival?
it was fun. Yeah.
I was wanting to do that one day.
Yeah, they have garlic everything. Everything there was garlic. Garlic chocolate, garlic coffee, garlic everything. Everything was garlic.
Garlic coffee.
I was surprised to see the garlic ice cream. I ain't never had that one.
Yeah.
I have to tell my
garlic
sister to
ice
make
cream.
some of that. My sister grows her own out there in Washington State, so
Ah, nice.
great place to grow it out there with the wetness and stuff they got.
Yeah.
So, but OUFN, do you have a destination you haven't seen yet that you'd like to be there in person?
Oh, one of my bucket lists is Egypt. I always wanted to visit the pyramids and stuff. I was fascinated by the pyramids, and it was always, even before Thailand and everything, even, just as a child, I was, just seeing these weird, abstract things just there in the desert. I just always wanted to get a picture before I die with it with seeing the pyramids and stuff. So
Yeah, that's cool.
I know people a lot say that Cairo is, very different, and people, when they see the pyramids on TV and stuff, it's different from when you're in Cairo. It's a different city. It's more, a little bit rougher than what it is. But yeah, because I know in general, like, Thailand is definitely like close to my heart and stuff, and I will see it. It's on. I know, it's nothing gonna stop me from things, because I want to see South Korea. I always enjoy the Thekingleeway stream. So, but yeah, it would probably be Egypt, definitely.
How about you, King? You have a destination that you haven't been able to visit yet that you really want to?
Yeah. Like places like Malaysia and those buildings, and even Singapore, the building with the boat on top.
I'd love to go to Singapore.
I haven't seen that one. There's a boat on top of the building. Is that a flood or what?
Yeah, the city floods, and then you can get on it and you can actually ride the boat.
Yeah.
It's the icon of Singapore.
Yeah, Singapore. Up and down. Yeah. How about you, Robert? Oh, did we hit you already? But you got a destination that you visit? You haven't visited yet?
I want to go see King in Korea and stuff, and go on a food tour.
That'd be awesome, man.
That's me too. I think we all should hook up one day and fly over to South Korea, visit King. He can pay for our motel because he's a nice guy, and we'll buy the food.
I think that's what that would be the ultimate, is to, like, you spend so much time in community with people, and that's the benefit of knowing each other. Is like, I can go, like, before, you could say, like, 4 years ago, I'll go to the Philippines, and as a solo traveler, it's a little daunting, but now it's like, I feel I can go there and just be like, hey, you're in this area. Or I can go to Thailand, and I didn't even know, like, before I met Zeekman, like, I was watching Jason Rupp, all those Nin barbershop videos, and watching. I knew Jason, his videos, like 2 years before I even met Zeekman. Now I know Zeekman a little bit more, so it feels more easier. Like, hey, you're in Thailand, let's go to Thailand. So, and then Robert's in Thailand, so it's like, if it just feels better to know people, and just the benefit of knowing each other, it makes it easier.
Oh man,
well,
that's like, YouTube has done that. It's just, it really does. It takes that edge off of everything. I mean, you can go anywhere in the world and get in touch with someone and they'll be like, yeah, I'll tell you where to go, what to do. You know, it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting. I had talked with somebody about that before. I said, we could all be walking down the street before and cross paths and not say hello and not give a damn. And, here we are talking from 1,000 miles away or 100 miles away, wherever we are. And we're getting to know each other and finding out, you know, if you want to hang out or not. I have met King. We met when he was in Kansas when he was here last time. We sat down and had breakfast. Uh, and so I was going to meet Zeke, but I didn't have time because they had some freight for me to pick up when I was was I in Connecticut? When I
Yeah,
talked to
yeah.
you, Zeke? Yeah. And so I have met Robert, of course. Me and Robert have become really good friends and stay in touch every day and stuff. We got a few things going on together. So it's kind of interesting. The YouTube family can be good. Of course, there's bad things out there like any world there is, but depends on how you treat it. But I'm the same as Robert. Since I've been following King, it's like I want to go to South Korea. I want to see it but I like the cold air.
Yeah.
Everybody's tired of the cold air, but I'll take the cold air if it doesn't have a whole lot of snow.
Yeah, you'll be fine here.
Yeah.
Weather-wise.
I posted the roti video in the chat if people want to check it out. It's them making the roti. I don't remember if I tried it in that video. I don't think so, but
Yeah.
it's them
It
making
was
the roti.
funny. The last girl I dated, she was South Korean, and she's an awesome girl. And the first time I went to her apartment, she was gonna cook for me, and it was the first time someone cooked on a portable stove in the middle of the living room. Then right, as we're watching TV, and I was like, "What is going on here?" Like propane turning on, cooking in the middle of the living room. And it was, amazing food. But I was like, wow. And then, as I watched a lot more videos of, not even just Korea, but just the way people cook in, say Thailand or Philippines, that's how they cook. And I was like, oh my God, here in the, obviously in the States, obviously you have your kitchen and you have everything, but that's how they cook. And it was really an eye-opening thing. But man, the meals that she could pull out on that little propane stove,
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, you'd be amazed at what we cook in our vans out here on the road. A lot of guys carry hot plates and stuff, and we try to cook our own food because everybody's trying to eat a little better. Because you go to a truck stop, all you got is fast food stuff. And there's a lot of guys that have refrigerators in their vans. Plus, we carry freight and everything else, and they carry a lot of stuff that they cook up their own dinners and everything every night in the van.
Wow,
I'm
that's awesome.
not gonna
Yeah.
lie. I miss the 7-Elevens in Thailand. Like they're the best 7-Elevens. Like you could do everything there. Like you could do your bills. You can get like all your food and dinner. You can do your taxes there if you're from
Is
there.
that right?
You can leave there with like
Andrew, I would be lying if I said I'm looking forward to going to 7-Eleven. And
yeah, like you can leave with like a 32 ounce. I swear it's like I don't know if it's the 20. How big is it, King Lee? Is it 22 ounce?
What?
Like Chang, the 22 ounce Changs? That's like 60 baht. I mean, no, it was like cheaper than that.
Yeah, not that much.
It's like
And-
I'm walking out. I'm like, I'm having this giant beer in my hand. Like, all right, just chug it down.
Once you get into 7-Eleven, you always get the question if you buy some food, wave or no wave, meaning you want it microwaved or not.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what? Like, I don't want to listen. We're all grown men and stuff, and whatever you do with your free time, that's you. But that I enjoyed my time. I wish that because one thing is though, when you leave somewhere, no one ever talks about when you leave a place, you get the blues. The first time I left, in 2018, I had the blues bad. Like, I think it was bad. But when the second time I had it, when I went there, I thought I was gonna have the same experience. You'll never when Zeekman goes there, you're never gonna get that experience back. It was like a movie for me, and I did a lot of mistakes, but those are the greatest mistakes that I could learn as a person that wants.
Let me ask you, Andrew, when you were there the first time, were you taking lots of pictures? Were you taking videos back then?
Yeah, I mean, I lost a lot of footage transferring from this PC from my Mac. I'm like, I should have like at least 8 more videos, and I had some epic things. I lost my phone on because watch out for those tuk-tuks because those guys fly. And you're a little drunk, you're out with friends and stuff, and I had such an amazing time there. Like, and it's easy to say I can go to Colombia and probably have an amazing time, but I would just say for the safety reason, like Thailand's just so safe, and like in general, it's just like a safe place. I was 28 at the time, so but it was just like a fun place. Like I could just imagine if I was like hanging out with Zeekman or Thekingleeway or Robert, like I would have had a
Would have so much fun.
you have a blast, but then you have a mega blast. Like it's crazy. There's just so
Yeah.
much stuff to do.
Talking about the blues, my buddy Josh, he's originally from Tennessee. He went over to Thailand 3 years ago, and he hasn't come home.
Really?
He's bought a ticket a couple times and he says he gets to the airport and he's just sitting there, and before he checks in, he's like, "I'm not going," and he doesn't go. So he
Is that
just keeps,
right?
yeah.
So is he stinking rich or something, or what?
He has Airbnbs that he runs in Nashville, so he has people that maintain them. But he's over in Thailand, and he's just like, I can tell you 3 separate times where he's bought tickets, and he's like, "I can't do it. I can't do it.
Wow.
I can't go."
Yeah.
That right?
I would say that Thailand, there's only 2 ways it's going to go. It's either going to bring out the worst in you, or it's going to bring out the best in you. Because if you're a person that wants to leave and you think that like everything that you leave here that you're trying to experience, like it's kind of like a weird facade. Because like, say you're a person that's not really great with women, you go there and then you're having this time, you're really just kind of replacing something that you didn't really fulfill as a man or something like that. And then like if you're really great, you can maintain it can be really fun. But let's say if like you're a person that's a drinker and stuff, and like, oh, I'm gonna have some fun, and then if you mess up, and let's say you're in a place like Pattaya or something like that, and you're just like, it's just there, and it's just calling you every night, you're gonna get wrapped up. Like times I was there and I was like, man, I'm drunk. Like I just woke up. I didn't realize I had breakfast, and then now I'm just like partying or something like that. So
See, now I'm glad I didn't go
taste
over
stuff.
there when I was younger, because I was an alcoholic back then, and I would have ended up either dead or in Thailand jail or something, because that's how bad of a drinker I was. And now if I go over there, I don't drink anymore, so I know.
Yeah, but
I can be walking down Walking Street and go, hey, look, there's Andrew getting dragged down the street.
I want to go to Jump TN, right? I want to go to Jump TN. Next time I go there, I'm probably gonna go to Jump TN, which is on the other side and stuff of the.
That's where I'm staying. I'm staying in Jump TN.
It's just more quieter, and it's like a 5-minute little cab drive to the crazy parts, because I stayed in Bukau, and I was just like, I walked out of my lounge and I was like right in the storm of everything, and then you just next minute you're just at a bar and you just you leave. I'm like, wow, I'm supposed to go over here and I'm a little drunk right now. So but it's fun, it's just fun. Beer in Thailand
Looks like Ace Flaws, whoever Ace Flaw 1 is trying to get over to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll get back to you.
Talking with Ed. Hello, sir. Well, that's crazy. See, I can't even imagine getting drunk in another country, especially if you're by yourself. I mean, you got to have a wingman. I think if you're in another country and you're going to drink, you better have somebody that can not drink and watch out for you. It would seem like to me. I would be too scared if I was just myself solo drinking over there, because somebody's going to get you sooner or later.
I was drunk one time, and I was looking for a certain place, and I was going north of where I was supposed to be going. I was like on Soy 23, and I kept going and going and going and going, and then it just started turning like province looking, and then it got dark, and then I was like, hey, do you know what this is? And it's like, you're like 15-20 minutes down from where you're supposed to be going. Like, it's the opposite way. So, and that's the crazy thing, because I was drunk and I was just walking, and then really I got back. But as long as you have like something in your brain says stop, because I don't really care for alcohol too much or beers or whatever. So I have this little thing in me that says, okay, that's enough, and then I just enjoy my time.
Well, that's a good thing to have. That's for sure. Because, man, I mean, I think that to me that's the scariest thing to go to another country is, uh, God, what would happen if you got ended up getting in trouble, or some guy starts getting on you and you punch him in the face, and
Oh
now you're
man,
going to jail in another country. You
that's the
know,
last thing you want to do.
Yeah.
I was
And
scared to. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, the good thing about like countries like Thailand, Philippines, most of the guys are not aggressive at all, or Asia in general. They're not aggressive.
Mm.
Most of the time they walk away. Even here in Korea, 90% of the guys are never aggressive unless I in the wrong place. If the only time I might have an issue with a local Korean dude is if he's drunk as heck.
Right.
But most of the times I'm not out most of the times partying anymore because I don't drink. That's why, like Scotty, if you're here, I will go look for. I can get 0.0 beer. That's all I would do.
Yeah.
Well,
And
and that the only reason you'd be down there at night is maybe taking a video of one time just to show what's going on and say, "Yep, there's Andrew right there with those two lady boys walking down the street. He don't know who he's with.
Like,
He's so drunk he don't know who he's with."
The ultimate.
I actually seen
the
that.
ultimate experience.
I was on Walking Street one time, and I went to McDonald's. I had an Adrian moment, and I was just getting a cheeseburger. And I was looking, and I saw a lady boy, and I saw this guy, and this guy's face is just lit up, and I'm like, man, great job, that woman, that whatever, she got him, but it's so obvious. But he must either been into that or he was too drunk to notice, because it's like, how do you not know that? Like they're like 6'2". It's like
It happens all the time there.
yeah, it's like when before you go there, you don't realize, like, you're like, oh, it's a funny joke, but like when you go there, it's like, if you're doing that, you're into that stuff. You really you are, because it's obvious. Sometimes they can get you, and they're like, whoa, that was really good. But the thing is, for me, if it looks too good, stay away.
If it's too good
Just
to be
ask.
true, it
They'll
is.
tell you.
It probably is.
Stay away.
Yeah, they'll
Just
take
ask
your
them. They'll tell you.
They'll undress for you and let you know. Don't worry about the sausage link.
Jimmy Dean.
So one last question for you guys. You got any other countries that you really want to go see that's on your bucket list that maybe there's one or two countries that you have not been to, like Andrew was talking about. He'd like to go see the pyramids that we're missing out on here, or something. Is it down the road for you when you get older, or is it something that you got to save up for? Zeekman?
I really would like to go to Africa, but not particularly like a safari or anything like that. I'd love to have the opportunity to go see the silverback gorillas or something like that. Way up in the jungle. It's very, very, very expensive, and you have to save for it. But I think that would be the ultimate experience, is being in the jungles and having these big ass apes come by you and just all crazy.
That sounds like
I would
Andrew in
love-
Thailand a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure you can get some. I'm sure you can get some big apes in Thailand also. But
That's
yeah,
cool.
I would love to go to Africa, and I would love to check it out. There's ways that you can also get in, and you could go and spend time with an African tribe, and I would love to do that also. So
Wow.
it's
Now I
expensive.
saw. Oh,
It's
you know who was down there?
$10,000.
Yeah, I saw when Balder was down there. Was that his sister that lives
Ye-
down there?
No, so she works for a company. She's a fixer, and that's actually what inspired me to go to Africa. I've always wanted to go, but those Africa videos on Harold Balder's site are incredible videos.
They are.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And that really inspired me to say, like, I always wanted to go there, but then when I saw his videos, I was like, I definitely want to go there.
Yeah, and
So-
they were out there in the middle of nothing, that little
Oh, yeah.
town there. It
Yeah,
was kind of
they-
crazy.
Oh my god, those videos are really epic YouTube videos.
Yeah, yeah. So how about you, King? Is there something on your bucket list that you just got to do it before?
Yeah, I gotta, like Southeast Asia, like Vietnam, Cambodia, Malaysia.
You haven't
And
been to Vietnam? Have you been to Vietnam yet? No.
yeah, I
Oh,
was gonna go to all this craziness, and then
Right.
Parts of Europe, like the Nordics, like Finland, Norway, even
Oh, that must
know,
be awesome there. Yeah.
yeah, I want to check that, and then and even like couple countries in Africa, like maybe Ghana or something,
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How about you, UFN?
The top two right now is Costa Rica, and for Europe is Germany. Those are the two places that I've kind of lined up. If I was going to go to the, Southeast Asia, it's either going to be the Philippines or Vietnam, South Korea, those top three. And then I can go back because, going back to Thailand, it's just kind of like, you got to see something a little bit different. I've been there again, but I always said that if I'm in proximity of it, best believe that I will stop by and stuff, but probably we'll see like Chiang Mai or the islands this time.
Well, let me ask you, since you're so young, Andrew, do you plan on retiring maybe in Southeast Asia, you think, or are you moving over there sometime during your life, or is the United States your home?
No, I
Gonna
remain
be your
that
home
decision.
base forever.
Yeah. No, it's definitely Southeast Asia, and I haven't been to the Philippines yet, but right now it's Thailand.
Thailand. Okay,
Yeah,
but have you been have you been to Vietnam? Have you been to Singapore? Have you been to
No,
Malaysia?
no, I haven't been those yet. I will, I will definitely check them out, but I got to put something down on the board right now, and I really enjoy it and stuff. To be honest, I've always enjoyed it as a kid. I used to watch a lot of like, my mom's a really big she loves like Asian culture and stuff. When you're young, she's
Okay.
collected sculptures and elephant sculptures and stuff. And we used to watch a lot of like Muay Thai fighting movies, and I used to always think it was like just kung fu. It was weird.
Right.
My dad's a boxer, so we used to like fighting things, and then we used to watch this guy unbuck, and he would show Thailand and stuff. And then when I got older, I was like, oh, Muay Thai and fighting, and then Thailand was just kind of like hey, why don't you check out the country? So
are you aligning yourself for that time to
yeah, actually,
go and live over there?
I have a website that I'm coming out with, which will talk about traveling, but like the mental side of like easing people into traveling, like what actually goes down when you're actually like by yourself, and like when because I had like episodes where like you get cold feet, or you get like really depressed. Like I've been depressed. Like you could be in a place where you're in a paradise, and I could be depressed, and like the little develop coping with things while you're in a hotel and trying to get out and see things. It's hard because everything for me traveling was conquering something, getting out of my comfort zone. So I always will be tied to traveling in Thailand because of my my mental obstacles I had to get to when I was in my mid-20s and stuff. So
Right.
Thailand will always be a place that's going to be so. But yeah, I want to start writing and stuff about my experiences, and I have a website in development that I've been working on.
That's cool. Cool. Now,
If you need help with your website, let me know.
All right.
yeah,
I designed
Robert is
Andrew,
he does.
Andrew, do you know the guy David's been there? Do you know him?
David been there? No,
David's
I
been there.
never heard
He
of it.
does a lot of Indian food reviews and stuff, but he has a website that's very similar to what you're doing, and it's really interesting. He does all these written blogs about his experience on top of his YouTube videos. Yeah, so David's been there. He's a
David's
good
been
dude.
there.
He has like 900,000 followers.
Yeah, it's not traveling for me was never like a leisure thing. Traveling to me was a discovering thing. That's why I always have the adventure, discover yourself. Discover who you are and who you are, like, because it definitely was like a skip, like it helped me grow so much, doing something on my own for once in my life, because I went through like a depressive episodes when I was growing up. I don't know if it become from I grew up in domestic home violence in my life, so, and then losing my friends, and then when I could be in the beautiful state in summer, but I was in my room in the dark,
Yeah.
and YouTube and discovering traveling stuff got me out of that rut, and I feel more comfortable in my life, but I want that escapism again, but I don't want to be stupid about it and travel somewhere and thinking that this is just a fantasy. No, you can make life whatever you want it to be and make it a reality. You just gotta work towards it and keep learning about yourself.
Well, and you have to remember, because I had a similar childhood, abuse. Well, my parents actually were separated when I was born, and then when I was 1 year old, my father came and took me away from my mother. But so I went through that. I had three friends die by the time I was 15 from overdose, because our neighborhood was full of kids, and that's all we did was drugs and drinking. And so I went through a lot of that. I still go through depression. One thing is you don't want to do is think it's not going to follow you, because it'll always be there for you and it'll always follow you. And so you just have to talk to it and handle it well, no matter where you're going and what you're doing. So just remember that, you one thing about depression, it loves you. It loves to hang to you. And so you have to kick its ass every day.
It does. It tries to creep up on you, but
Yeah.
when you start developing mechanisms to like really cope with it, because I always tell people like I was an overthinker, but now I developed this like self sense in my body that says, dude, it ain't that serious.
Yeah.
Like it really isn't, because I always feel like no matter what, like it's a weird thing, like God always kind of like he'll push me, he'll get me to the ground, but he'll always, it's weird way, like he wants to, like he don't want it, but like something's smudging my face into the ground and says, dude, if you want to stay there, but I'm gonna let you get up, but if you put something out and you work towards it, I'll have your back no matter what. And so every time when I say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna go and buy that ticket, I'm gonna go to this place, I always felt like he gave me the best experience, because he's like, you did it, you're the one that said you want to do it, let's do it, so I want to speak about those experiences, and I don't like talking about mental illness. When I came on YouTube, I was always like, I'm going to talk about mental illness. And then someone told me, don't do it, because some people have problems that you can't fix. You can't. So I
Right.
figured that let me put it on a website that people can, relate to things.
Well, and they're always going to look for a license behind your head too, hanging on the wall,
Yeah.
But so Zeekman, where you got plans for where you're going to live? What is your long-term site looking like?
Thailand is in the future. Not sure how much longer, but I will be. I will be going over there
You think
to live
Thailand is going
pretty
to be your
soon.
home when you retire or whatever, or when you
Y-
decide?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really do. Obviously, I'm going there for the first time, but just from what it has to offer, and the people that I follow, and the experiences that they've had, and not even I'm out. This is outside of partying, but like I follow this one guy, Foreigner Joe, and he's this retired guy from the United States military, and his vlogs are
Dallas.
very real. What's that?
Yeah, from Dallas. Because I even messaged Foreigner Joe because I discovered him right when I left Thailand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Foreigner
like
Joe
he's
and
mapped.
Gift.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
because he's on the
And I
retirement
mean
visa.
he's mapped and yeah. And he's mapped out. I mean, he tells you the truth about everything about what they go through, and from what he's shown and the way over the course of the past few years that I've been watching it, in a couple of years or so, you're like, wow, I could do it. I could do that there.
Yeah.
My friend Jason Rupp, who is also obviously on YouTube, he's been in a lot of my videos, but same thing with him. I mean, he's originally from New York City, but he's based out of Pattaya, and he went over there. He bought 4 condos. He rents them out. He lives there, and his YouTube channel is doing very well for him. But it allowed him to have that freedom also. But like, it's things like that you see, and I'm like, I could do that, and Thailand just seems to be the place to be.
But have you been to any other Southeast Asia countries other than Thailand? Or when you get to Thailand, have you been?
I'd love to go. I'd love to go to Vietnam. I think that would be the next spot, and then
Yeah,
the
that's my
Philippines.
bucket list. Yeah, Vietnam is a number one, but I don't know how different it's going to be. I know, like King was talking, they kicked everybody out, didn't they, King? I know Asia Unscripted was over there, and they kind of kicked everybody out for a while.
Yeah, well, he left on his own because it was becoming an S show for him.
Okay. Well, I know
Yeah.
somebody had said they had kicked out, or I don't know if they kicked him out, but people that were close to where they were not letting them re-up their visa, I guess, and stuff, because I guess they're restructuring their visa thing. So, but because everybody said Vietnam was about the easiest one to get into, visa wise, I guess. But that is on my bucket list because everybody says how nice they rebuilt over there. It's just it's a nice place to visit. So, I can't say for sure I'd live in the Philippines or I'd live in Thailand until I go over there and see these places. To be honest with you, myself too. Thailand has always been kind of towards the top because of everything else, but I really like Vietnam. What I've seen.
Like I said before, it's about convenience. Like I'm from Boston, and Zeekman's from Connecticut. We can agree that we would probably enjoy our times living in New York, hang out in New York, versus living in Florida because of the convenience of just how close things are. Like, it's in your body. It's like it's built into you to, like, hey, I'm gonna walk down the street and I can go to the mall in like 5 minutes, versus like in Florida where you need a car. So like if I have to be in the Philippines, if there's nothing that's within it being convenient, versus like Thailand, where if you're like, let's say you're like in a town, Phuket, and everything's there, but if you're in a province that's kind like Philippines is somewhat like a province, but then like it's really islandy and it's kind of split in a lot of places. I'd rather be in a place where it's more in the mainland. That's why I do like Thailand a little bit better, because I can get towards places better for
Right.
me. So I feel like.
Yeah.
So Andrew,
that's the
would
one
you
thing.
prefer? Sorry, Zeke, go ahead.
I would say that's the one thing that kind of draws me away from the Philippines for the most part, is it's not very convenient to get around to places. Like, if you get into Cebu and you want to go over to Leyte, you got to fly to Cebu, you got to take a boat, a ferry, and then 3 taxis to get to where you have to go. Whereas, Andrew was saying, I mean, you could fly right into Bangkok airport and you jump on the train and you're in the center of it all.
Yeah. Especially when you're getting older, like someone like me, I'm in my 30s, I could probably deal with that. But when you're like, I'm not saying that, being 40, there's people that are 40, 50 and get around a lot of places, even 60, but you don't really need to you don't want to deal with that. You should want to just be able to be in an area where everything is convenient for you, getting your food, your leisure time, going to a gym, to a mall. It's like when I was in Pattaya, everything was like right there. It's like you go to a gym, I get my breakfast. I can
Being from the States too, we're so accustomed that I'm going to drive from Michigan to Florida or drive over to New York from Michigan, and it's just a simple task of driving over there. Whereas, like, that is one thing that kind of threw me for a loop. I remember the first person I saw that went from Dumaguete to Cebu. Dumaguete to Cebu, and I looked on the map, and it's on the same island. But then Dumaguete to Cebu, you either got to take a ferry or you got to fly. And it's like, you're kidding me. It's right outside Cebu, but you got to take. It's like, oh my God, Yeah, so that's not very convenient. I'm sorry.
I flew to Dumaguete. I was like, nope, I'm not taking the 4 hour and then take the ferry and across because time was limited in my case.
No, is there a way to drive from Cebu to Dumaguete?
Well, yeah, you technically could take your scooter, but you're gonna drive like 4 or 5 hours from Cebu City to with that port, and then you can take your scooter on the ferry and then just cross into Dumaguete.
So you always either got to take a ferry or fly, one way or the other.
Yeah, and I sat there like, my time's getting limited. I'm just gonna fly because it only cost me though. One time I went to Dumaguete, it cost me $34 round trip.
So is that kind of like flying from LA to, say, San Francisco?
Yeah, it was 45-minute flight. I'm just like, nope, time's a factor. I'm just gonna fly.
But Cebu is but they're on separate islands, right? Is that why you got to fly?
Just kind of. It's like a little tip. And same thing, I went to CDO. I flew from Cebu to CDO, 45 minutes. Only thing is, I land at the airport. I got to take a shuttle van, which is another 45 minutes to CDO or Iligan City, going the other way.
Wow. Wow. That kind of threw me for a loop when I saw a lot of that stuff, so
See,
I
but
like when Asian Unscripted, was in.
She's trying to tie us in with the El Nido.
Yeah.
You're not going to get us with the El Nido.
Asia Unscripted, when he was in Vietnam, I really liked what he was showing over there. It looks really, and everybody says it's set up very nice over there now too. So that's something I'll look into. But we're still waiting for another year to see what happens and stuff. What were you saying? Iris trying to get us to what?
No, she's trying to wrap us in with it got El Nido though.
That's crazy. So how about you, Robert? Is Thailand just it? When you retire, is that it? You're not worried, you're not even thinking any other country?
Well, I'll travel outside of it, but yeah, Thailand's it.
No chance for the Philippines at all, huh? And
no, I'd go there too.
How about you, King? Is South Korea it for you, or is there other places you might retire to?
Well, I want to keep South Korea as a base. Of course, I'll be able to get the Korean passport when I'm 65.
You got a ways away.
Yeah, but right now, I'm looking between Philippines, Korea. It just depends what happens, how things, if I was to get married to someone in the Philippines, it'd be back and forth to Korea because it'll be easy. And plus, there's opportunities to do business because those two countries do so much business together.
Now you live in Daejeon, am I right, King?
Yeah.
Daejeon? Is that so? If you stay in Korea, is that going to be it? Daejeon, is that where you want to be all the time?
No, I might maybe move to another city in Korea. I'm not sure. Like the countryside, I find out is much cheaper. But of course, no young people in the countryside because remember, there's this decimal called 0.84 childbirth rate per Korean women here in South Korea.
Wow.
It's just like Japan. So now people are like, come move to the countryside. We'll give you a deal on the place now instead of paying, crazy New York Gangnam prices like $2 million for a 3-bedroom apartment.
So it is cheaper to buy the property there now. Korea, is that the same as like Philippines, Thailand? A guy like me, I couldn't buy any property, right?
No, it's a little different, and I don't know all the details. Even for me, because I'm a U.S. citizen. I don't have a Korean passport, so I'm even limited on some things, even if I'm ethnically Korean.
Right. Okay.
So,
Now,
well,
so
family that has to help me in that situation.
well, I know where you live in Daejeon. It gets cold. We talked about that earlier. Is it like that in everywhere in South Korea, or is it just where you're at?
Pretty much, it's cold everywhere. The only city that doesn't snow is Busan.
Okay.
That doesn't snow, but pretty much it snows everywhere. But we don't usually get too much snow.
Yeah. I mean, last year anyway, I didn't see much on your walking videos at all. So, not like we get in Michigan anyway.
Yeah.
Or
And by the way,
Boston.
I just learned that they filmed Squid Game in my city, like the
Oh,
studios.
that's cool.
Can I tell you something? I haven't even seen it yet, so I have no idea what it is.
Oh,
I didn't know it was a movie. I thought it was a game.
yeah, it's a 9-episode series. It is trending #1 on Netflix in 90
Yeah.
countries. And
See, I don't have Netflix.
yeah, so I might try to go by a place and see if I can look at this one studio, because the rumor is that they filmed it inside the studio where I did a live stream at the new mall.
Oh, cool.
Cool. Jeez. So
Yeah.
Squid Games is from Korea then. Started in Korea.
Yeah, it's kind of like depicts like how society is, especially in Korea.
Right.
Yeah, but the King Lee here in Burlington, Mass, we filmed Mall Cop.
Yeah.
Mall Call? What's that? What is Mall Call?
Who's the guy?
Did I ask?
Who's the actor?
Mall Cop.
Who's
Kevin
the actor?
James, Paul Blart.
Paul
Yeah,
Blart,
yeah, Kevin James.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mall Cop.
Kevin.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mall Cop.
Mall Cop.
Yeah, but I'm lucky to live in Detroit, where it's the most dangerous place to live. So
Is it really now in America?
I don't think it is anymore. They still say it is, but
Chicago's up
yeah,
there, man.
well, Chicago. Yeah, it's like when we go deliver in Chicago, you go drop your freight and get the hell out of there. Go sit in Indiana. Because we were always talking about that. If you stay in Chicago, you can't sleep laying down. You have to sleep just doing this all the time. So when the bullets are flying by, hopefully they miss you. Because there was a while there that they were shooting people out on the freeway. So on 294 and stuff.
Sleep with a vest on.
Yeah.
Oh, just woke up.
So when you go to Chicago, you just walk like this, and hopefully they. It's kind of crazy. Hey, listen, guys. I know I've kept you almost two hours now, so I hope people out there in comment land have learned something from you guys. Because, like I said, I haven't done any international traveling, so nobody will learn anything from me unless you want to know about the United States. It's a pleasure to meet all you guys. Pleasure to have all you guys on here. And when you guys go over there, please be safe. Andrew, no more drinking on your own, man. Have somebody watching your back for you. Because if you don't, then the lady boys will watch your back. You'll wake up in bed one morning going, "Oh shit,
I made a bad decision."
I thought I was eating a donut."
Oh man.
Thekingleeway, thank you, sir. I know you have a busy schedule and you got some time off, so I appreciate you coming in. What do you got coming up on your show, King? You got a walking video and some World Series games?
Yeah, so tomorrow I got us walking stream tomorrow at one end of the subway station, and then Saturday and Sunday I'll do the play-by-play for the World Series.
All right, and we're rooting for who? Are we rooting for anybody in particular or no?
Well, in my case, or because I can't stand the cheating Astros, just go for Atlanta. And plus, it's poetic justice for Atlanta this year because I did a tour of Truist Park in March, and the All-Star game didn't happen there this year.
Yes, they picked it out of there. Yeah.
So and this is poetic justice. If Atlanta can win, I was like, yep, that's what you get.
Yeah, yep. OUFM, what you got coming up on your channel, sir? Thank you for coming in, sir.
No problem. I got two of my last Cambodia videos. They're from the Siem Reap area, some of the temples, and then the last one will be Angkor Wat, which used to be one of the seventh wonders of the world, but it's not anymore. And all fittingly, because people always associate me with some monkeys, a monkey all the time. So it's got the
Okay.
monkeys in the video. So I said, hey, let me end it off with the monkeys, and then hopefully when travel gets back, and I will be planning on like better videos in more current time, not videos from 2 years ago. So, but
Yeah.
streaming wise, I do want to not stream like Let's Chats anymore. I think I would like to get back into talking about my niche and video editing and stuff. So
No more open chats, you mean, or?
yeah, I'll do him from here and there. But if I'm gonna have to double up, do one and then do a Let's Chat, do one stream,
Right.
do what I want, and then so that'll probably be the plan.
Yeah, it's open chats are fun, but they'll never get watched again. That's the thing about those
Yeah,
things.
so you
Yeah.
need something that people can go back to and say, hey, learn something a little bit.
Yeah. Robert, I know you're getting ready to go to Thailand yourself in a few weeks, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Like, so what you got coming up? Anything going on in your world? I know you're going to start doing some videos when you go over there to get your channel, One Hungry Traveler, going back again.
Yes. I'll release some of my old videos and I'll mix them in.
Yeah. And you any idea when you plan on going over? Is it going to be after the holidays, you think?
I think after the holidays, but I'm not exactly sure right now. Some stuff is coming up.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for coming on the show. Zeekman, thank you for coming on the show. I know you got 3 different channels going now. You got the Zeekman, you got Zeekman Travels, and you have Zeekman Shorts. You were talking, though, the other day on one of your live streams, I think, with, I forget your friend's name there. You were downtown. But you were saying something about they're not paying you for the shorts.
Yeah, so I started the Shorts channel just on a whim. I heard there was going to be a monetization program for it eventually with YouTube. So I said, hey, I'll start a Shorts channel to see if I can get ahead of it, and then eventually have that as a monetized channel. Well, it took off really, really, really fast. That channel has over 600,000 views and almost 6,000 watch hours on it, and
Wow.
it's not monetized because short video channels don't count towards your regular monetization, which I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen. But then they announced like they had the short video fund where people are going to be getting a certain amount of money from YouTube. And come to find out, like the baseline to even get $100 was like 1 million views. So I'm like, all right, well, I need 400,000 more to even just get to like that minimum threshold. So for that channel in particular, I'm trying to figure out what to do with it because I have enough subscribers. I just have to get the watch hours for it to get it monetized. So actually, I think what I'm going to do, and I've reached out to a few companies already, but it's like all these mail order like keto and all these mail order like prepared chef foods. I've already gotten 3 responses, and people are going to start sending me food. So I'm going to start reviewing prepared foods on that channel since it's already basically locked into the YouTube algorithm as a food channel. So I'll have that kind of be like a fun, like prepared food review channel. Then I'll have like the Zeekman channel, which is my original channel, which is doing really well. I think I have 5 more New York City videos coming up on that one that I have to edit. And then I just started Zeekman Travels because I wanted to keep Zeekman focused on food. And then the Zeekman Travels will be more adventure type things. So walking videos. Like when I was in Mexico, I went spelunking in some caves. I'll put all of that type of stuff on there. So it's keeping me busy. It's difficult, but it's a lot of time editing. But I think in the long run, when I can get the 3 channels straightened out, I've only been doing this for 1.5 years now. So, still have a long time to go. And I think now between the 3 channels, and I have them pretty much straightened out where I want them to be. I think in the future
Right.
things should be working out pretty good. So, but
And do you do all
everything
your
has
own
food in the
editing?
background.
You do all your own
Yeah,
editing?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, you do a good job. Then that is one thing I just don't have the patience for. I guess. I think that's what I like about live streams. You can do a live stream, and then when you get done,
Yeah.
you just slap it the end on there and put it out.
Hey, but one thing
I have
is that
this.
people, you can actually edit your own live streams. I think people, I haven't seen one person yet in the community kind of take the live streams and chop them up and make them a little
Well,
bit more palatable for
I don't
others.
know if you could, because you can't really take them down. Because if you take them down off YouTube, you're going to lose all those watch hours.
No, well, if you keep it up there, you keep
You-
the big one, and then like say like Zeekman has a second channel, and then you take the bits of like the interesting points and talking points within it. People like to watch maybe like a 10-minute segment versus the
Right.
full, you ask a question, the title, something like that.
Well, someone
Just
would
a
have
bit
to teach me how to do that.
extra little side content,
Yeah. Well, someone would have to teach me how to do that. I use Filmora Go, and I haven't figured that out yet. Like I said, the editing, I don't know why I don't have the patience for it.
It is. It's tedious. That's for sure. I use
But
Power Director as my editing program.
Power
I love
Jacker.
it. Power Director.
Oh, Power Director. Yeah, I've seen that one.
It's a Cyberlink program. It's awesome. I love it.
Well, and that's what I would love to do is figure out how to take bits and pieces off live streams and put them out there to make short videos out of them that people are going to watch.
You have to
Because
download
like
the stream as like you use VLC. It's like a software. It's free, and you download it through VLC, and now you have the whole stream. And then but you would have to drop that into editing software, rewatch, take out the dead space, and then
right.
maybe you ask the question, and then you take those little segments out, and then you repost it onto like maybe a second channel, or maybe make a playlist out of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll look into it then. But yep. So hey, listen, guys, I appreciate it. I don't want to keep you too long. King, absolutely appreciate it. I know you're a busy man. I look forward to your videos coming up, your walking streams, and your baseball. OUFN, great to have you on the show finally.
Thank you.
Zeke, man, absolutely appreciate you coming on the show. And Robert, good to have you again, brother. Thank all you guys. And like I said, when you go on your trips, please be safe. Okay. It's dangerous out there enough as it is. All right. If you're by yourself, keep your eyes open. God bless y'all. Thank
See
you
you
guys.
All right. See ya. Bye.
So thanks everybody for coming. Sorry I didn't get to the chats. I didn't want to keep the guys too long. 2 hours is a long time. I only planned on for an hour and a half. I hope everybody learned something from these guys. I know I did, and I appreciate every one of them for coming on. Darren Dobson, I know you had a live stream. Thank you for coming in for an hour. So just want to say thank you. Everybody be safe out there, and just remember you got loved ones at home to go home to. All right. God bless you. Peace out.